you assist them, please, to get into the show. We are streaming live. So that is why we don't want to start way out of time as much, because our viewers have already connected. So we have to start. And good afternoon to all our panel members and those who are still struggling with connecting. I hope that they will get sorted very soon. Good afternoon to our guests and good afternoon to our viewers from all the social media platforms where our viewers are following us every Wednesday. You have joined the talk with myself, the Speaker of Council, and my name is Councillor Nongeba Mulwele, and I send you all the warmest greetings to everyone. You know, today is a bittersweet show for me because it is our last show for the year 2020. I was actually saying to Ntlaga yesterday, are you sure it's our last show? And Doc, I still wanted to go on even next week, and Ntlaga called me into order. She said to me, Madam Speaker, next week it will be after the 15th holidays, the 16th, and people are now, you know, festive, or they're on festive mode. They don't want to be part of the meetings. And I realized that the year is over, indeed. Colleagues, we have had to deal with so many unprecedented changes as the city. We inherited what is now called the new normal due to a pandemic that we find ourselves in. Along the way, we lost loved ones. Some of us got ill. Some of us lost income. But as the city, Councillor Musa, can you please mute? Can you please mute? Thank you very much. Thank you, Doc. So I was saying, but as the city, we strived to continue with the business of council so that service delivery is not altogether interrupted. I must say it has been a tough space to navigate. Running a city of council with 265 councillors under a lockdown is no easy task, and it has changed the way we do business quite significantly. I think you have observed that as well as our viewers. Coupled with the challenges in navigating the new normal, we were also faced with the fact that some of our wards in the city did not have ward councillors due to either resignations and or deaths. This meant that those vacancies needed to be filled. Our biggest hurdle then became the reality that we would have to find a way to conduct by-elections so that all our wards are functional with the ward councillors at the helm. Well, the IEC released the date of the by-elections to be the 11th of November 2020, and the stage was set. The 11th came, and not without its challenges, but a day later, the votes had been tallied, and we announced the new councillors in the city of Johannesburg that would be the first citizens of their
Am I the only one whose screen is frozen?
No, Jaga, mine as well. It did freeze.
I think it's Madam's side.
I think it's the speaker.
Yeah, I'm also fine. I think it's the speaker's side.
Madam Speaker,
it kicked her out, ne? Whilst we're sorting out the speaker and Laga and Sipo, can Sound change the name there?
oh, okay, it's Councillor I think it's Councillor Buthelezi.
Yes.
Councillor, are you able to change your name to because at the moment it says Car Sound.
Yeah, okay. Let me work on it quickly.
Okay, thanks. We're going to try and get speaker back on.
All right.
Okay, I see she's back.
Even the system has already begun e-holiday.
Welcome
So
back, madam.
it's not only us who's tired. The system is also tired. It just kicked me out. And my apologies. I was still explaining the role of a ward councillor, and I think it is important to explain because most of our voters don't necessarily understand what the role of a ward councillor is. But I'm going to just summarize it. I was still saying that ward councillors are the chairpersons of their ward committees and must give special attention to their wards. So ward committees is a team that works with the ward councillor, which consists of different sectors, 10 sectors that exist in the ward. Some of the duties of a ward councillors are to represent the people in council and cooperate with other councillors in the best interest of their communities. Communicate the needs of the community to the council, but equally are also tasked with communicating the council processes in the communities. So in short, or in a layman's language, you would say that a councillor is a bridge between the communities and government, because the councillor has to communicate information to and fro between government and council. So the councillor is not the one who delivers service delivery, but the councillor is the one who reports the issues of council. It is important that we understand that, so that we don't expect our new councillors as community members to come and switch on the lights when the lights are off, because that is not their role. And the other role is that they must monitor the performance of the municipality, a metro in our case. They raise issues of concern as it relates to service delivery with the relevant bodies and provide feedback on the municipality, on the metro in our case, on the plans of the municipality and performance through public meetings. Councillors must follow the code of conduct of ethics, integrity, and service with pride. So we do have a person in council who is a vanguard for ethics and the code of conduct for councillors. So councillors do account in council. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important to highlight these duties, as I said, because some people do not understand what the role of a ward councillor is. Some do not even know who their ward councillors or their ward councillor is. If I were to ask our viewers here one by one to say, do you know who your ward councillor is? I'm sure that we would find some of the viewers who don't know their ward councillors. Therefore, there can never be enough civic education and capacitation around this topic. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I am very pleased to announce that my guests today are all the ward councillors who have won the by-elections on this platform. Today, we will engage these councillors to get a sense of who they are, what they stand for, what their vision for their ward is, and what their plans for 2021 are. So, councillors, we'll hear from you. We'll hear from you as to what is their vision, and I am sure that your communities are listening and they are watching the show today. So as part of the panel today, let me officially introduce a ward councillor from Ward 130, Councillor Thulani Buthelezi. And Ward 130 covers the part of Naledi Camp 1 and 2, part of Mdeni and Mdeni Extension. If there are other areas that I have omitted, when Thulani speaks or Councillor Buthelezi speaks, he will then add and outline. Councillor Buthelezi, please show your face if you can. Wow, thank you very much. We are also joined by Councillor Fute Aronson, of Ward 68. I hope that he has joined. I know that he has been struggling to join. And Ward 68 is made up of suburbs such as Crown Mines and Extensions, Industria, Main Reef, Longdale, Pennyville, Riverlea, etc. He will also add some of the areas that I have omitted. Councillor Aronson, are you here?
Madam Speaker, he's struggling. He sent his apology to say he'll keep on trying to log in, but he's struggling. The signal is low on his end.
Okay, all right. So then this ward also includes the informal settlements called Zamimpilo. I hope he's able to log in, because we would really be interested to know what is his plan to transform and assist the people of Zamimpilo informal settlements. We also have in our midst Councillor Imran Musa of Ward 9. Ward 9 is your Lenasia Extension 3, Extension 7, Extension 8, Extension 11, and Extension 13. Councillor Musa, are you here? Please show your face.
Thank you. I am here. Can you see me?
Okay,
Hello?
no. All right, we are unable to see you. I hope that by the time you speak, we'll be able to see you. And then we are also joined by Councillor Celestina Pusaletonzimande of Ward 120. Ward 120 is Lenasia, Univille, Flagfontein, Hospital Hills, etc. Councillor Musa, please mute. Please mute Councillor Musa. You're reminding me of the council meeting where I always remind councillors to mute. Okay, we can see your face. Thank you very much. I was saying that both Ward 9 and Ward 120 are under Region G. We also have Councillor Lunga Kuma of Ward 41. Ward 41 is Soweto. It includes Middlelands, part of Mzimhlope, and part of Pefeni. Councillor Kuma will also add some of the areas that I've omitted. Councillor Kuma, are you able to show your face to our viewers?
This is me, Speaker.
Okay. Yes, we can see.
I'm trying to change the background, Speaker. I don't know.
Yes, your background makes your face not to be properly visible. If it's possible, if you can change it so that by the time you speak to us and the viewers, we are able to see you properly. Councillors, you are all welcome. Welcome to this platform. This is the platform where we give our citizens information, we disseminate information of what is happening in council, and we have a lot of viewers who follow us, and they will make comments as we go along. But perhaps before we get to the councillors, let me extend a very warm welcome to Mr. Rafik Charles. I saw that he has logged on, who is representing our IEC office. And he is the person when things go wrong during elections day, who that person is being harassed by all of us, especially the speaker, if things are not going okay in the voting districts. Mr. Charles Refs, good afternoon. You are most welcome.
Good afternoon, Speaker and members.
Thank you very much. Let me also extend greetings and warm welcome to our trusted partner with whom we have been on this journey with since the lockdown, basically, who is very passionate about civic education, and that is Dr. Fundile Nyati. Bele, good afternoon. Afternoon and welcome. I know.
Good afternoon, Speaker, and good afternoon to all your guests.
Thank you very much. A very warm welcome to one and only, the Chair of Chairs, Madam Chair, who is in charge and responsible of oversight in the legislature, who is one of the leaders of the legislature, whom when the Speaker is not available, she takes the reign. Welcome, Madam Chair of Chairs.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can
Thank
hear you.
Good afternoon to all the viewers. Thank you.
Afternoon. We also have our regular councillor who is supporting this program, who is also in charge of the ANC caucus, and it is none other than the Deputy Chief Whip, Councillor Matsidiso Mfikwe. Welcome, Councillor Mfikwe.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon to all the panelists and to everybody that's logged in. Thanks for having us here, Madam Speaker.
Good afternoon. Councillor Mfikwe, over and above being the Deputy Chief Whip, she's also the chairperson for EISD, which is the department that has picked up city power environment. Welcome to all the officials who are here today. From all the offices, the Office of the Speaker, the Office of the Chair of Chairs, and all the officials of the city, members of the media, and the online community that has joined us, who have been following us throughout the year. Let me start this conversation with a short presentation from the IEC office. Mr. Charles, please take us through a brief description of what are by-elections and how do they differ from the normal local government election. Why or when are by-elections necessary? And what is the purpose that municipality or the process that municipalities have to go through in order to ensure successful by-elections, especially because during by-elections, the attendance or the participation of the communities becomes very low. Turnout becomes very low during by-elections. It will be important to give information to our citizens and our viewers as to why is it important that people should participate in the by-elections, and they are as important as the elections. I have just been informed before I give the platform to you, refs, that we are joined by the number one citizen of our city, the executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg, Councillor Mulwantwa Jeffrey Makubu. He is also here to listen to the vision and the program of action of our newly elected councillors. Mr. Mayor, you are most welcome, and thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank you, Comrade Speaker. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. All right, refs, over to you, Mr. Charles. You can expand. You don't have to confine on the topics that I have given to you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. Just a quick overview of by-elections. So you've mentioned quite a bit. I'll just start from the basics. So when and why do we have a by-election? By-elections occur on the main three reasons are death of a councillor, resignation of a councillor, and then also the one that we don't have a lot of, but it does occur sometimes, that's an expulsion of a councillor. In terms of the constitution, the whole municipal council may also be dissolved. If this happens, a by-election is held to elect councillors to elect a new council, depending on the category of the municipality dissolved. A different number of ballot papers may be used. So we're fortunate that we don't go that, or we haven't gone that way. A by-election normally takes place within 90 days of the date of a resignation of a councillor or of the date of the vacancy. Now, remember that date is the date that the municipal manager would declare the vacancy and not the actual resignation date. There is some certain categories or certain instances where a councillor might have passed away, and then the death certificate would take maybe 7 to 14, even sometimes to a month to reach council. So all those things are kept, and that's why we only deal with the letter from the municipal manager, who is the counting officer. Then we look at the processes that we follow. Within that 90-day period, we would normally have what we call a targeted registration, or what we normally do is to inform the community. So we have a team of people going out to the communities and inform the community to say that there will be a by-election. In fact, we then give an opportunity to voters to register. Just recently, this past weekend, we had a registration weekend where voters had an opportunity to register. That was Saturday and Sunday for wards 7 and ward 17, where vacancies also occurred during resignation of councillors. So that's the registration weekend. Then the voters' roll would probably close by the, in this case, Friday, the voters' roll will close. And currently, as we speak, some people have gone to our offices to register voters that didn't get an opportunity during the weekend. So until Friday at about 4:30, the offices will be open to register. Right. Then all by-elections normally have a timetable. Now, in this timetable, there are specific events that would happen. For example, the registration weekend is not in the timetable per se, but when the timetable kicks in, then that is the day that the MEC declares the by-election from the IEC side. And in fact, from the provincial side, the IEC informs the MEC, the MEC will declare such a vacancy, it then gets gazetted, and then from that point in time, the voters' roll is closed. So that's why we do things before that happens. We register voters before that happens. Anybody that registers after that would not be eligible to vote. The voters' roll then gets given to political parties to view. Then there is also a new thing since the Clockway case, where the court has instructed IEC to ensure that all addresses of voters are on the roll. When the voters roll close, we then look at all Section 12 cases where we find voters who are actually registered in a specific VD, but their house, their address falls outside of the ward. Then that becomes what we call a Section 12 case. Now, these cases, we have managed to control those cases. They are the cases where we would move, or we would give a notice to such a person to inform that person that you are now no longer registered in that specific ward, and you will be registered in your correct ward. So that's called the Section 12. In terms of the candidate nomination, that would happen after the Section 12 notices are out and we have given it to everybody. Then political parties would normally take the lead. They would advertise in the ward, and we would then proceed with all our logistics in those wards where there's by-elections. We also have 2 weeks before the time, there is applications for special votes that we allow a week for. And then we would visit the elderly and voters who won't be able to make it on the election day. They would then be visited, and we would allow them to cast their votes either at home, or some of them would come to the voting station. That is normally a day before the actual by-election. Then the by-election occurs, all the stories happen on that day. Hopefully this one won't be as busy, but not as busy. They can be busy, but problematic rather, if I may use that word. We normally urge candidates to stay at home just to relax on the day. But yes, after the election, the same night we normally announce the results, or the Speaker's office and the City Manager's office would get a confirmation of the results the following day. So that is by-elections in a nutshell. There is a lot of legislation to it. I don't think this is the forum to go through all of those legislation issues now. But yes, Madam Speaker, we have picked up, or by-elections normally, if we get 40% turnout on a by-election, that is quite a high number. Our last by-elections, the highest was 25%, 25% turnout. So if you're looking at an average voters roll approximately 17,000, and then you get only 25% of voters that turn out on by-election days. The IEC itself, we have sent out teams or field workers to go into the community and urge them to vote. But we ourselves are not sure. A lot of the things are also service delivery issues that we do not have control over. That's where councillors come in, and we call upon councillors, the mayor, MMCs, sometimes even the premier to come and assist the IEC or by speaking to the community. As you are well aware, Ward 130, we had such instances. So those are completely outside of our portfolio. We are going to be expecting in Finetown, there's another case of service delivery, again Eskom, which is also not the city, but it's actual Eskom. So the community there is also up in arms. There was a very low registration weekend there. They actually boycotted us. They didn't want to come out to re-register or to check the voters roll there. So that's the main, if I can call it, the main culprit why people do not come out, is the service delivery issues when we call upon them. Yeah, that would be it for by-elections, Madam Speaker. I hope I've covered most of it.
Yes, thank you very much. You have covered, but maybe before I get off you, in terms of the upcoming by-elections, because you mentioned the registration period, the upcoming by-elections of Ward 7 and 17, do people still have an opportunity to go and register? If yes, how and where? Now that the registration week has passed, for example, if Mrs. Molwele was not around to go and register, do I still have an opportunity to register as a resident of Ward 7 and 17?
Yes, ma'am. Voters may still register. They can do so online if they are registered. They may do so online where if they want to change their addresses. They can do so online. They don't even have to go into an office, and they can change their address there. Alternatively, we have two offices. The one office in Ward 7, for Ward 7 rather, is the Enedale Civic. There is staff there, and there will be somebody on Friday as well, up until 4:30, where people can go in and register. And in Eldorado Park, Ward 17, the office there is also open, and there is always somebody there between the hours of 8:30 and 4:30 p.m. So you can just walk in there and we will register you without a problem, or change your address. We must emphasize that for a person to register, they must take their identity document, whether it's the ID card or the old ID document, or a temporary ID certificate can be used, and we will register the voter there in those two offices for the two by-elections.
Okay.
Yeah. And sorry, this is only until Friday. Friday is the deadline, as the MEC will declare the elections by Monday.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Charles, for that information. So the residents or the voters now do understand that they can still go tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday before the end of the day, Friday, to go and register if they have missed that opportunity to register last weekend. Thank you very much for dissemination of that information. It was very important. Let me now ask Councillor Imran Musa. Councillor Musa, just to briefly introduce yourself and take us through or give us an overview of your ward. I know that I've mentioned some of the areas, but of your ward, I do have your ward profiles. Don't go through the whole ward profiles because of time constraints. Just give us an overview of your ward. What are the challenges in your ward? And what is your vision for the ward as the newly elected ward councillor? Just talk to your people. Thank you very much, Councillor Musa.
Thank you very much. Firstly, once again, for the opportunity to be in this very informative platform where we have an excellent opportunity to express ourselves in terms of our vision and challenges. So I thank our esteemed councillor, speaker, Madame Mulwele, and the executive mayor, and all protocols observed. And also to the wonderful participants that we have here today. I would like to firstly place on record that I've listened to the IEC with regards to the manner in which the by-elections are contested. I would like to also say that I would like to see more visibility in terms of the by-elections and the voter education, if possible. I'd just like to mention that before I carry on with my vision and challenges. We would like to see more presence of the IEC in the areas where by-elections are held, as well as the voter education. I feel that we could do much more in terms of media and in terms of presence as well. Secondly, I would also like to place on record that Madam Speaker mentioned the extensions in my ward, and the demarcations worries me a little or concerns me a little, because I noticed that some of the extensions haven't been mentioned on those demarcations. So I would please request that those demarcations be correctly spelled out, as I don't think they have been correctly presented to Madam Speaker. I've noticed that the extension 1 and extension 5 hasn't been mentioned on the list presented to me. In terms of my introduction, my name is Councillor Imran Musa from the Ward 9, Lenasia, and obviously I am in line with a concept called I Love Lenasia campaign. So I believe very strongly in information, communication, consultation, and transparency. Those are my main traits and my strengths. And I feel with that we have a very healthy relationship with communities if we can disseminate information, communication, consultation, and transparency. This also falls in line with the IEC earlier mentioning about the by-elections as well. So in terms of the media and newspapers, radio stations, social medias, and the platforms, WhatsApps, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, we need to use this more effectively to communicate. And I think with this, if we communicate this, much of our visions and our challenges would be forthcoming, and we'd get the heartbeat on the ground of our communities. So my vision is to positively transform Lenasia into a very functional metropolis. So I believe that a leader should be on the ground, and my modus operandi is very strong on a solution-based community. So when I say solution-based, I mean that when we communicate with the community, we find out whatever the challenges and the problems are, but we focus on solutions. And if we focus on solutions this way, we don't have a society or a community that feels continuously that they are always complaining and they are sad and we have too many challenges. And like Mr. Rafiq Charles has earlier mentioned also, that because of the apathy, voter apathy is due to poor service delivery. But as councillors, we need to change this mindset in our communities into making it a positive transformation, a rejuvenation. So when we're speaking to the communities, we find solutions, and we channel our energies in such a way that we help our communities to understand why the service deliveries are as the way it is at present. So as I said, the past may be important history, but we're looking at future and how best we can rejuvenate our beautiful town. So in line with my vision is the following: to engage various stakeholders on illegal land invasions. It's quite a sensitive topic, and the executive mayor fortunately has come to Lenasia this week, and he's presented lots of support and given us some of the insights to what is exactly happening there in terms of some of the challenges that we're having here in Lenasia with regards to people benefiting out of selling the land that does not belong to them. The second aspect in terms of my vision is to eradicate crime and combat social ills, example, the drug abuse. The other one is the cleanup campaigns that I've started even before my elections. I started up cleaning myself with my own hands, in fact, esteemed councillor, and I've continued with this, and we're still up until today as we're talking. I have teams on the ground that we're assisting with. And then also, most importantly, is identifying land and shelter for informal settlers and the homeless. So this is also in line with solution-based. When I say solution, we find some, alternative accommodation that would be suitable for informal settlers and also the homeless. We find that there's a lot of homeless also in Lenasia at all the robots, and we need to find them some suitable accommodation or shelter so that they're also comfortable and creates a good environment for us. We also to ensure safe and protected environment that's conducive to cultural needs and social cohesion for my vision, to stimulate recreation and sports and improve its standards and facilities such as parks and the stadiums and grounds that we have in Lenasia, to also ensure efficient health services and even ensure that some of the governmental clinics that we have in and around Lenasia doesn't provide services, for example, at night. So there's many people that's finding themselves into a situation where there's no services or health services that can provide some urgent needs for them. So those are also some of the concerns that I have, that I would like to ensure or engage with the health department to see how we can find solutions and maybe even voluntary doctors that can come on board and assist us with the people that need services, health services at night. The other one is to ensure timely service delivery within deadlines. In other words, a lot of the services, what's happening is after they report it, we have the reference numbers, but unfortunately those go on for days, and we need to find some kind of a process where we can find a way wherein the service delivery is satisfied within a certain period of time. So there must be deadlines set in terms of the service delivery. And then to give undivided attention to the sore point of the billing issues, which I think is now also in the vast Johannesburg area as well, the city as well. So we need to look at that because the nations also seem to be facing the same issues. And then to boost economic development in terms of the IDP plan that's presented to us by our city, to support and identify strategic plans and ways in line with the annual IDP, to stop wastage of expenditure and government resources for futile projects. So we have some projects that are presently presented to us from my old colleagues that have been in council, and I'm seriously looking at that and to see how and why did they come about and how we can save monies with regards to it. Also to create a good conducive spirit and environment with a good community, to establish healthy relationships with the business and the community, and to understand the heartbeat, the cries and the demands at ground level. So this is basically in a nutshell my presentation in terms of my vision and my future for Lenasia. And I hope to carry out this, and I got a very short stint, esteemed councillor, that obviously in 8 months to fulfill all what I've presented now, I know is a huge task, but I believe and I'm strong in my capacity to feel that I'm sure I can deliver, and I am very capable of serving my community. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Musa. I was tempted to clap the hands. Then I thought, oh, I'm online, so I'm going to disturb the process. Listen, in one sentence, the last question that I forgot to ask and is very important. The city undergoes a process of communicating with the citizens, because remember, we must get the mandate from the citizens. So there's a process which begins with the CPP, which is community-based planning, and IDP. So CPP is a preparation of getting inputs from the citizens into the IDP, which is a plan, that 5-year plan for the communities. So into next year. tell me how, because we normally get very poor response on this, and citizens tend to not understand the importance of their input into the IDP or CPP process. So what is it that you're going to do in ensuring that there's a comprehensive participation by the citizens? Just in one sentence.
Thank you very much. Madam the Speaker, you're absolutely correct in terms of saying that as I said earlier, I'm a very strong believer of communication and interaction and consultation with our community. And I think that's the solution. There isn't sufficient engagement in terms of getting the community involved from what I've seen and observed in the last 20 days that I've been in office. So I think that's the solution to it. Thank you, Madam the Speaker.
Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Musa. Let me quickly request Councillor Lungakuma, do the same. Introduce yourself, give us an overview of your ward, its challenges, your vision for 2021, what are your focus areas, and also how do you make sure that people or the community do participate in the CPP IDP process? Councillor Kuma.
Oh, thank you very much, Speaker. I was just literally jotting down of some of the questions that you were literally asking. My name is Lunga Tuma, the newly elected ward councillor in Ward 41. And let me also greet the leadership that is here, the mayor, the DSG of the PPF, who's also the chair of the committee, ASD, and our officials, and greetings to you, speakers, and our colleagues.
Tell me, are you able to show your face, or your bandwidth does not allow you?
Let me try and speak.
Okay.
I don't know if
much better now, very official.
Thank you very much, Speaker. At least we were able to sort this thing out, Speaker.
Thanks.
On the question of what are the challenges, my ward is necessarily vast. We've got 9 voting districts. It's from Zone 1 and Zone 3, Zone 4, and Zone 5, and some part of Orlando West. It goes by Pefeni. And in our door-to-door, when we were doing campaigning, the masses of our people were literally telling us about unemployment, their opportunity to penetrate the industry through SMME development, and literally just issues of service delivery from particularly the ESCOM as one of the challenges, and generally about issues of ineffective communication, and also about the issues of COVID, and maybe some of the challenges relating to PPE. And on the issue of unemployment, precisely because the predecessor of the Mayor Makubu closed down the issue of Jozi at work, which was also linked with the Vulindlela Jozi, which also be able to give us this massive online open university that was closed by the mayor. From our ward, we are trying to, I personally have an experience in terms of developing what you may want to call job readiness workshops. I run them, wherein we're able to locate young people through these various agencies. We have been communicating them, for example, Kaylee, we have been communicating with them to take some of the CVs. There's a program or there's a portal that is called TEPO 1 Million that was launched by the province, wherein young people are also be able to be located to that. And Quest, other agencies that we were literally working with so that they were able to then support the CVs. But in the bigger scheme of things, we crisscross the ward in terms of driving this job readiness workshop so that we're able to train our people on where are the opportunities and how do they then conduct themselves in the proper way of developing CVs, and how just basically to connect themselves into an interview process. That is issue number 1. On challenge number 2, which is SMME development, already on Friday, we're launching what we may want to call a councillor small business launch, which is an effective way, because there's a study that was actually commissioned by State SA and other agencies that says small businesses produce jobs, and then while the big businesses are sharing the jobs. And part of the responsibilities was to also be able to try and mitigate and ensure that we put a doctrine that our masses and young people must be able to be located into an understanding of how you must then be able to be located with jobs through SMME development. So we're launching that process on Friday, which we call Councillor Small Business, basically is to take through our communities. As you may know that 22.2 million of people are unemployed in South Africa, and majority, we have them in our ward, you understand? So this issue of small businesses is just to formalize them. For an example, we want to be in a position to then say, if you sell inyama entlogo or you're an informal trader, we are interacting with the Department of Economic Development to just formalize you and have you in our database and have certificates from environmental health and all of that. So that is what we are doing in relation to that issue. And then we are pleased with the turnouts of our people saying that we are going to be participating in that space. And part of the challenges is that one of ESCOM, wherein they are saying, no, the tariffs are high. A majority of our people are not necessarily paying for the network of ESCOM, and just this network unserviced by ESCOM and all of that. And we've been experiencing the outages, wherein even if we report these issues to the ESCOM, and the ESCOM will necessarily take time, precisely because they say they don't come with non-payment. I'm glad that Councillor Mfikwe, who's also the Deputy Chief Whip of Council, was able to try and intervene in some of these matters so that at least we're able to deal with those issues. So based on that issue, we're able to deal with that. And generally the issues of service delivery from starting from the street lights to and all of that, at least we're able to try and mitigate. At least the MMC has been able to try and assist in that regard to ensure that we're able to deliver quite prudently and effectively, and have a prudent model for us as councillors to then be able to just report, and then there's effectiveness in relation to the feedback that we get from them. So at least from that level, we're able to then, when we are confronted with problems, at least we are able to then find a solution with our people. In relation to the community-based planning, well, look, in relation to that, we were speaking with our people in the bigger scheme of COVID, obviously following the processes of the lockdown and all of that, sanitizing that. Much as we're confronted with the lockdown, but we must have an effective way of communicating. One, have block WhatsApps, so that we're able to then, through IDP, report there. We have a quite prudent WhatsApp as a block committee, and establish a block committee, and then people are able to raise their views from various voting districts, so that at least there's effectiveness and hold one another accountable in relation to that issue. At least from that level, we're able to also have timelines on how to at least try and be able to just get a feedback with our agencies that are necessarily responsible for that. And that model has been has appeared to be quite effective and efficient. You understand? Even though it's limited in terms of reaching wide audience, but we try and observe the protocol of lockdown and meet them regularly, so that we're able to also at least try and communicate more messages in relation to the IDP and community-based planning. You understand? So we are at that process there. At least there's an effectiveness. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kruma. To our viewers, Councillor Kruma is one of the young councillors in the city. You can see there's a lot of energy there. He has already started to hit the ground running, already started supporting the SMMEs, skills development for young people. And that, so thank you very much, Councillor Thuma. Without a waste of time, let me go to Councillor Buthelezi. Councillor Buthelezi, do the same, introduce yourself, take us through the overview of your ward, your challenges, your vision for now, between now and 2021, and for community participation in terms of community-based planning and IDP going into next year.
Yebo. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are.
I'm still on the road. I hope power doesn't leave me behind. Thank you very much. Let me take this opportunity to say greetings to everyone who is on the platform, from our highest leadership up to the lowest leadership and our colleagues. Let me just briefly say there's something very special with Ward 130, Madam Speaker, especially when it comes to the number 4. At one point, we didn't have this ward. This ward came into existence in 2011, and it was actually through 4 wards that formed this particular ward, which was Ward 14, Ward 20, Ward 53, and Ward 52. Over and above that, why I'm saying there's something special with this ward, it's because we are actually having 4 dwellings. If I'm saying dwellings, I mean we have informal settlements, we have RDP, we have what we call 4-roomed houses, and we also have bond houses. So obviously, as soon as you read your dwellings in that form, you can quickly pick up that there'll obviously be those common challenges, and there'll also be those challenges that might vary as per dwelling. When you look at the informal settlement, we're still really having a challenge. We have tried by all means as the city. As the city, you have done justice in terms of allocating people in 2007, 2008 programs. However, today,
Oh, Councillor Buthelezi, your network is disappointing us, and we were still attentively listening to your plans. Councillor Buthelezi, okay, please, whilst you're sorting yourself out, let me check, Nhlaga. Do we have the 2 councillors? I don't see them on the list. Councillor from Ward 68 and 120. Hello?
Hi, madam.
Hi, Sipo.
Yes, we've been trying to get a hold of both of them. They are struggling with the connection, but we are trying to get them on. Yes, madam.
Okay, Councillor Buthelezi, is he back? If not, we will just take the comments and questions from our viewers if Councillor Buthelezi is not back as yet.
No, he's not back as yet, madam.
Okay. Can we then hear what our viewers are saying, Sipo, so that we take them along with us?
Absolutely. Firstly, no, madam, I think Councillor Puseleto is here. I think a device was named. Maybe if she can start, and then I can do the questions after her.
Okay, the councillor from Ward 120, Councillor Puseleto Celestine, we could not recognize the name that you are logged on with. You are most welcome. I'm not sure when did you join, but we just want to hear from you by introducing yourself. Take us through an overview of your ward and the challenges of your ward and the vision that you have for your ward. And lastly, how do you ensure the comprehensive participation by your communities in the process of the community-based planning and the IDPs as we are going into next year, into the new term? Over to you, Councillor. Councillor Nzimande. Okay, she doesn't seem to be on board, Sipho.
I think, yeah, Madam, I think she's just maybe struggling to
unmute yourself, Councillor. Unmute and try to speak.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Good.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. My name is Puseleto Celestina Nzemande, a councillor for 120. I'm a law-abiding resident for more than 25 years. I would like to extend my greetings to the Executive Mayor, Madam Speaker, Chairs of Chairs, Deputy Chief Whip, councillors, and the community members at large. In 120, it's a diverse ward. It's having formal and informal houses. The problem of 120 is ongoing of land invasion, basic service delivery like street light, pothole, and long grasses, and ongoing even the rates and taxes. I'm happy because yesterday, when I have the challenge of shortage of water because of land invasion, because now when we started when I came here in 1994, we were 12,800 residents. Now we're extended to 48,000. So the reservoir was not enough to carry all of us. The water that is supposed to take a week, it takes 1 day. So now in Johannesburg Water, they have timer when they close and opening. So since I moved in on the 12th of November, we had a challenge of water. Community were complaining and say, now we have a new councillor, now we don't get water on time. So I escalated the matter to the office of the MMC of infrastructure. I'm happy because, you know, when you deploy when there's a political office that is listening to the concern of the community. Yesterday, we had a meeting with them, with the stakeholder, because last week when we start, because we don't have time, from last week, the whole week, I was visiting to the community and start to formulate the stakeholders. I was visiting the block committees, so that they can elect their own chairperson and secretary that will represent them on the stakeholders. Because I don't want when the development come in the ward, then they will start maybe to point fingers and say, I'm choosing my own friend. If those people maybe start to have the conflict of interest, I know where to report them because they were elected by the community. So yesterday, including with the stakeholder that I have launched through the block meetings, we were sitting with the office of the MMC of Infrastructure and Johannesburg Water. Then they tried to resolve some basic service delivery issues. They explained to the community why it's happening that we have shortage of water. So most of community members were happy and say it's the first time in 120 to have such an engagement because the councillor that is being elected is a woman. So now my vision for 120, as you know, that 120 has a problem of youth that is not working. I need to have the program of youth empowerment, and there's also the community of Blackfontein and Hospital Hills that they are crying for their title deed. So if the housing can assist me in order so those people to get their title deed. And also another issue, the issue of rates and taxes. People of 120, when the land invasion started to arrive, they boycott to pay lights and water because they say, why are they paying while other people are taking the service for free? So the government needs to intervene because there's a lot of challenges in this world. But as a law-abiding resident, I know all those challenges because I was already in the forefront as a community activist. So my vision is to see in closing, my vision is I want to see the community of 120 being united because the policy, the constitution of ANC promotes non-racial, non-biased, and non-sexist. By those words, I'm closing. I'm not like a person who's talking long. I'm brief to the point.
Thank you very much. Maybe before I let you off the hook, can you, because you have logged on with a name which is not your name, if you can just show your face, if you can just show your face so that your people see you. Is it possible? I know you have been having problems. That's it. Okay.
You saw me.
Yes.
Let me not forget again, there's Pumla Mkashi. As a councillor, you know, I should give those people the proof of resident. So, and there's a protocol that I should follow because I should identify those people that are the law-abiding resident of Pumla Mkashi. So I can't give them the proof of resident. I would like the housing to intervene and tell me what is the process, what is the plan about Pumla Mkashi.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Councillor Nzimande. If we were in a council meeting, I was going to ask you to go and change and put your formal clothes.
So, I just came in now because you know I was
okay,
so
thank you
sorry.
very much. Thank you very much. Councillor Buthelezi, are you back?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, if you could just conclude, we lost you.
I couldn't even pick up where was I lost. I don't know if Madam Speaker can allow me to start from fresh.
No, I think it was at your vision going forward to next year. Okay, tell your other people, the people there in your house, not to disturb you because you are in a meeting. I'm not sure who's making noise.
No, I'm all alone.
Oh, okay. I think it's Councillor Nzimande. Sorry. Yes.
Right. Thank you. Like I said, but I'm happy that you have actually cued me as to where did I leave you guys. But then with the number 4, Omunata have explained the challenges that we have in these informals, actually in these RDP houses that have been allocated to our people who have been living in informal settlements before, there's no roads. And there is a serious flooding that happens when it rains. They can't even access their homes or have any decent kind of a funeral if it rains, simply because of nothing has been done there in terms of the roads. In a normal sense, those 4-roomed houses, the challenges with our people there, it's the fact that most of them have not been able to get houses. But what I have done right now, after what I've picked up from the COVID, because there's quite a number of things that you must have learned from the COVID. One of the things that we've picked up is that most of our people are not on the ESP. Most of them don't know anything about the ESP. And we've also picked up that most of our young people don't even have IDs. And that has actually made them not benefit from the 350 that was given under the president's pocket. And further to that, we have quite a huge number of people who are drug users, your nyaupes and your crystal users. And as a result, there's too much crime that is happening in our ward. And that being said, Madam Speaker, what seemed to be an intervention, obviously, would be to educate our people on the importance of registering on the ESP, and also for our young people to be assisted on acquiring those IDs. As I speak right now, tomorrow I'll be having a session that will be in conjunction with the Home Affairs at Mdeni Senior Secondary School, addressing all the possible challenges that our people are confronted with in terms of the IDs and the birth certificates. Because what I've discovered also with the birth certificates is that if kids are not having birth certificates, they actually lose on an opportunity, one, of their grant, and they lose on an opportunity in their schools of being allocated also, because every kid gets allocated simply because of a birth certificate that the kid might be having. So we'll be having that particular session tomorrow. And on the part of the SMMEs, I'll actually echo what Lunga has said there to say if you can empower most of the SMMEs, or if you can develop most of the SMMEs, certainly you'd be having more people finding themselves space to work and finding themselves busy, not being able to have so much time that they are using for drugs abuse. So I have had 2 meetings already with the SMMEs with an idea of formalizing themselves to become a forum that could be legitimate in terms of having all the paperwork, and see how best we develop all the SMMEs that and those who are inspired to become business people. So in a nutshell, it's a very short time, Madam Speaker, for one to say there's a lot that you can be able to achieve. However, there's those quick fixes that you can able to sit into to make sure that the open spaces are well looked after. If maybe the city is not able to come on board timelessly, but engage people also to participate in making sure that those open spaces don't become the dump sites, which eventually gives them health hazards. And the other thing that I feel that is important, especially when it comes to what you have raised with the CPP and the IDP, I've indicated also to all the SMMEs that I have met so far to say, without them having an input of what needs to be done in terms of the open spaces and developing our ward, then we'll continue to have a problem of not being able to know exactly what needs to be done. Or we might be doing things that our people are not really looking for, because there isn't a good participation that is happening in the process of the CPPs and the IDPs. So I'll also be echoing that to the session that we'll be having tomorrow, because I'm expecting plus minus 200 people to be participating there. Simply because of the calls that I've received and the messages that I've received inquiring further on what would be happening tomorrow. So I trust that the turnout to be quite good. But in an instance, one needs to just focus on small issues that needs to be, you need to be on par with, like the issue of sewer spillages, because that happens now and again. I even know now there's 4 areas where I know that in a week, at least once, those sewers must be giving us problems. So if those things can be attended to with an assistance, obviously from the relevant departments, I think that will also be assisting our people. By the end of next week, we will be having a program that we refer to it as the planting of trees to all those open spaces that we feel there might be a hazard to our people. Let's rather utilize them for service delivery on the trees. So the vision that I have is to see our people being able to understand exactly the importance of them voting and the power that they are.
Okay. All right, we've lost Councillor Buthelezi again, but I guess he has given us the gist of his vision and the challenges from his ward. Hello, are we still there? Hello?
Oh, yeah, madam.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. I think for the benefit, Councillor Buthelezi spoke of ESP. For the benefit of our viewers who don't understand the acronyms of the city, ESP is Expanded Social Package. And it is a system the city uses to register those households that are unable to pay for services. So we always call upon communities who are unable to pay for electricity, water, and other services to come up front, to go to our offices and register and say, and report their case. And then obviously there's some investigations by social workers that happens. So that system is called Expanded Social Package. It is a system that gives those communities who are unable to pay for one reason or another, where there is no income, of course, there are terms and conditions. So ESP means that. I thought I should clarify that so that all the viewers are on the same page with us. I think viewers have heard from the councillors that have given us an input that our councillors, all of them, have already started to hit the ground running. They have started with the elections were on the 11th. They started to assume office on the 12th. In fact, they were sworn in, I think, on the 12th or on the 13th, or 2 days after the elections, they were sworn in. So, but they have already started to work because they reside within the ward and they understand the issues of their communities. Sipo, let's hear what the viewers saying before I give opportunity to the leadership.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. Just to also do mention that we have people that are viewing us from the City of Joburg's Facebook and Twitter accounts. And thank you very much to everybody who's viewing us on these platforms. So questions from this platforms, Madam Speaker. The first one comes from Lesego. Lesego says, I want to know from the councillors, what is a process of the parties in selecting them as candidates in their wards? That's the first one, Madam. The second one comes from Prince. Prince says, this one goes to Councillor Imran Musa. My question is, what are your plans to deal with service delivery issues in Lens, especially on issues such as electricity, illegal dumping, and open spaces? Tidiso says, I want to second the issue raised by Councillor Kluma. We need to think out of the box to create work opportunities for young people. We need youth to get skills that respond to the economy. Not that young people must just get skills and then they cannot be absorbed into the economy. The last one from Faith says, well done, Madam Speaker, for these weekly shows. I've learned a lot from these civic education programs, and congratulations to all the councillors. I think let me leave them there for now, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sipo, and thank you very much to our viewers. Before I go to the next phase, let me check. Councillor Aronson from Ward 68, was he able to join? I don't see him on the list of attendees, of participants.
Madam Speaker, Councillor Aronson was unable to join, unfortunately.
Okay.
I think he eventually gave up.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. Mr. Mayor, apologies and forgive me to ambush you, but councillors have spoken about their vision, and they have spoken about how are they going to communicate with their communities in relation to service delivery issues. I must also state that a councillor, I know that there's a question of the process of selecting councillors, but what I can say is that before a councillor is a councillor, the councillor represents a party that has selected that councillor to be a councillor. And once the councillor have been elected into the ward by communities, that councillor then represents all members of the communities within the ward, not only members of the party that has selected or the party that has forwarded him or to represent. The councillor then represents the communities, not only a party. So I thought, let me just clarify that. Mr. Mayor, so they have raised that there are challenges in their wards and so on. I don't want you to answer into each and every challenge, but just the support of your councillors, because the buck ends with or stops with yourself as the executive mayor of the city, with your team of executive in terms of service delivery issues in the wards. If you could just give a word of support to the newly elected councillors and a word of hope that they are not alone in this road or this journey of servicing their people in the wards.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Unfortunately, I am unable to show the video, but thank you very much. Even though I had thought that I will just tune in and listen, but it was I'm glad I did. And thank you very much to Councillor Buthelezi, Councillor Kuma, Councillor Nzimande, and Councillor Musa for giving perspective that one ordinarily would not have about the intricacies of each ward. Even though we do have ward profiles, Madam Speaker, we don't understand them as much as the people who live, who wakes up with the community, who feels the pain of the community. And then I would have thought that the session is very, very good. It's an excellent session to at least enlighten us and the executive on the sort of response, the sort of support that we need to give our councillors on the ground. Councillor Musa is quite correct. I have been to Lenazia, I've met the stakeholders. The issues he mentioned, some of them were raised in that meeting, but he did mention more. Councillor Kuma, Councillor Buthelezi, Councillor Nzimande, we've been to the awards, but we've not quite engaged with communities at the level of the city as much as they've done. So I think from our side, Speaker, we really appreciate this, and I think it will help us formulate responses, especially ward-based responses and community-based responses from this engagement with councillors, and we really, really appreciate it, and I really, really take heart at the way the councillors have been honest about what is facing them in their respective wards. And good luck to that. Going to be very easy, but you've got our support. And I suppose because the Speaker is ultimately responsible for the well-being of councillors, we must respond to your needs as the executive, and we promise to come up to the party to be true to what we promised the residents of Johannesburg. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And I haven't greeted everyone, Dr. Nyati, Deputy Chief Whip, Councillor Mfikwe, and all chairperson of the Oversight Committee on Governance, Councillor Oljon, and all the other councillors and colleagues who've tuned in, and the staff in the mayor's in the Speaker's office. I must say good afternoon, and thank you very much for this session, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much from what you've just said now, and from the input from the councillors. Indeed, I can say without any fear of contradiction that the city is in good hands. The residents of the city of Johannesburg are indeed in good hands. Welcome, Councillor Oljon. I have not seen you. It doesn't appear on the list. And thank you, Mr. Mayor, for making me aware that Chairperson Oljon is also on the platform. Councillors, now your last word of just wrap up, and also in your process of wrapping up, try to respond to some of the questions from our viewers. Let me start with the first councillor who gave us, let me start with Rafik. Rafik, is there anything that do you have a word that you would want to say as a last word? Just a last bite on your presentation. Okay, it doesn't look like Rafik is here. Hello, can you hear me? Councillor Musa? Your last word?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Councillor.
Thank you very much. Look, as I mentioned before, we solution-based, and moving forward, I'm hoping to work very well with the community. I've already found myself in a space where the community is rallying very well behind me, and they're assisting me. And in terms of the question that was posed earlier, in terms of delivery, illegal dumping, etc., I have a beautiful, wonderful team in line with the theme that I said earlier, I love Lenasia, hashtag I love Lenasia, and that spreads throughout, because if you create a wonderful spirit and environment within our community, this then spreads wonderfully amongst ourselves, and you find that volunteers come. And when the volunteers come, they assist you and they try and clean the places up, like today what's happening. And we also have a volunteer team now that's also prepared to assist me to help old people, disabled people. When they have service delivery issues, they cannot log the complaints in because they don't have laptops, computers, etc. We find some of our volunteers being proactive, and they're engaging with me, and they're having meetings with me continuously on a day in, day out basis till late at night. And I really appreciate this from my community. And I say thank you very much to my community that they're rallying behind me and they're assisting me with this volunteer spirit that we want to make Lenasia a better place. And let's spread the spirit throughout the city as well.
Thank you very much, Councillor Musa. Hashtag we love land too. Okay, let me give this opportunity to Councillor Kuma. Councillor Kuma, your last word in few minutes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Speaker. Well, we, on the issues of our communities, we're working hand in glove, but we want to plead with the mayor, obviously with the leadership that is actually present here, that for an example, we're trying to build flower nurseries in our ward. You understand? We've identified 2 spaces there, but we're just having a crisis with JPC in terms of giving us the spaces, in terms of ensuring that these nurseries, because they are community nurseries, they are not like, for example, your cooperative nurseries, because we're trying to mitigate around these issues of illegal dumping rather. Because we want to then say, if there's an illegal dumping here, we try and clean up that space and involve the community so that we are able to then mobilize the community around that space and then begin to put a nice, decent flower place so that we're able to then nip this process of illegal dumping in the bud. So, but if we are then having a crisis there, but we are hoping we're going to work with the mayor and the leadership effectively so that we're able to then try and occupy space so that we're able to also mitigate some of these solutions, you understand? We will try and work with our communities together with our stakeholders in relation to ensuring that at least from the level of COVID-19, we are able to be the champions of those issues, because we already had the war room around that issue. So we're able to begin to pragmatize, because it's serious, this issue, and we must be able to deal with that issue. So we're working with our communities just to spread the message continuously. We're not sleeping on the job in trying to ensure that at least we're able to get the message across. So we are going to also work with the Office of the Speaker in relation to the issues of public participation, so that we're able to then try and ensure that it reaches wide audience and all of that. So thank you very much, Speaker, for this platform. And then maybe we must then be able to come back and be able to then reflect and be able to check where are we and keep track of our programs as the city and new councillors of where we are. And just to thank Dr. Fundile Nyati, who must also be able to come to the ward and be able to try and assist in relation where the necessity for him to come, so that we're able to then deal with that issue. So I'm saying we work very with our communities in terms of ensuring that we deal with those issues. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kuma. Let's quickly go to Councillor Buthelezi. Sipho Masego, please mute. Nearly said Councillor Masego. Please mute, Sipho. Councillor Buthelezi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I hope I'm not going to lose you this time. I've been losing you for quite some time now. Madam Speaker, it is true that without the support from the leadership, all will be very difficult. However, with the support from the leadership, we will certainly be able to assist our communities. However, one of the things that I just want to mention, frankly, in this particular platform, if we can't be able to get a proper intervention on the issues of electricity, because for as much as it looks like it's subsiding right now, in March, April, May, June next year, we'll be experiencing the same problem. So if we could be proactive as to how best do we eliminate such come next year, so that we don't find ourselves with our pens down. But also, if we can also be assisted, in particular in my ward, because we don't have much of the sporting facilities around, if we can be able to have some kind of a sport facility that would be able to actually introduce the 3 or 4 sporting courts that could actually come out of this area. And if we can also find proper intervention even from the national office in terms of these kids that are on drugs, because we know them, we see them every day, and it pains, Madam Speaker, to see these young ones dying of drugs. If there could really be a proper intervention there. However, over and above that, some of the things we're obviously learning as we go, and we'll be meeting with all the relevant departments as to getting what is it exactly that they have as their management plan in terms of maintaining our wards, and also making sure that we also monitor that whatever that they've promised to do, they are actually adhering to such. Over and above that, let's stay safe. It's COVID time. We know it's December, but we still need to take care of ourselves. We wish our communities a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance. And we hope to be working well together up until the term ends. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Buthelezi. Indeed, the things that you have alluded to, please make sure that they find expression in the IDP process that we are going to be embarking on. Councillor Nzimande, your last few words. Your wrap-up words, Councillor Nzimande. Okay, once she's still finding herself back, maybe she's disconnected. Let me hear from Chair of Chairs, just a few words. You've been part of these sessions, just 2 minutes. 2 minutes, Chair of Chairs, a word of support to the new councillors.
Madam, I think Chair of Chairs is no longer in the meeting.
Okay, let's proceed to Councillor Mfikwe. Your word of support to the new councillors, Councillor Matsidiso Mfikwe. She's also not there. Okay. Okay, Councillor Oljohn, your word of support to the new councillors.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and greetings to all the councillors, fresh from the box, like you like to call them. It's not an easy job. It's not going to be easy. We were told that even if you get insulted, you must just say thank you and move on. It's not going to be easy. You've got a little time. Don't take too much on. Try and do the little ones so that you can be effective. But I wish you all the best. Congratulations, all of you once again. But we are here. We're going to do it together. And everything of the best. Stay safe, and yeah, thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Oljohn. I saw a message from Councillor Nzimande that she says she is here. Councillor Nzimande, just your closing remarks in 2 seconds.
Okay. I would like to thank the voters of 120 for voting. I vow to work closely with them in order to build a community that we are proud of all. That's my words.
Thank you very much. Dr. Nyati, you've heard. Oh, Councillor Mfikwe, are you around? Okay, no, it's fine. Dr. Nyati, you've heard the input from councillors, and I think now, as a medical practitioner, you have realized that councillors have the most difficult job than you thought you had. And you also received an invitation from Ward 41 from Councillor Kuma. Just your last words, especially because this is the last session. And how did you find this session, and what is your view about the work of the councillors now?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to congratulate all the new councillors I want to wish them well as they begin to do the work that they have been mandated to do by those who elected them. I want to remind them that, you know, leadership is about serving. And so they must, you know, remember that for as long as they proactively engage with their communities and do what their communities expect of them, then it will be a good stay in that position. However, like other people have said, you know, it's not an easy job. Some will not appreciate the efforts, but leadership is never easy, and therefore they must just, you know, continue doing their best. So as far as the invitation to the other ward, I'm sure in 2021, one will find a way to visit some of the wards. Obviously, being a healthcare person, my interests are always around issues of community health, you know, and so yes, in 2021, I will accompany, you know, your office from time to time when you go to some of these places. So I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to the chair of chairs. Thank you to the mayor. And thank you to everyone who's been regular on this, you know, platform. We need to do even better next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bele. Colleagues and our viewers, in closing, I would like to thank Executive Mayor, Councillor Jeffrey Makubu. I would like to thank you, councillors, for spending your afternoon with us. And I wish you all the very best on your journey, the journey that you have outlined to us. There's a lot ahead of you. May you be a faithful servant and serve our communities with integrity, love, and in the spirit of the Batupili principles. Dr. Nyati, please mute. I wish to thank each and every single viewer who has ever tuned into the show. I would really like to thank you, Dr. Nyati, who, when we reached out to you with this concept, you really took the bull by the horns and gave us your unwavering commitment and support. I would like to thank Madam Chair of Chairs, who has been supportive throughout these sessions, who drops everything at the call for this engagement and all others. I know now she's pressed for time because she's writing exams. I also want to thank the Chairperson of Environmental and Infrastructure Services Oversight Committee, Councillor Mfikwe, who is always supporting this program and supporting our councillors as well today. The one whom we know, if we need assistance, we can always run to. Let me thank our offices, the office of Dr. Fundile Nyati, my private office, the staff there for putting together all these sessions throughout ever since the lockdown. It must be said that putting these shows together takes a lot of planning and coordinating, from the conceptualization stage to sending out those invitations to the guests, convincing the guests to join the platform, convincing them that we are not out to catch them, but we just want to share information with our communities, to prepare the content of the show, the technical bits, the streaming, the mobilization, and even as we are currently busy on this platform, this very moment, there is a lot of coordination happening behind the scenes that you as the viewers do not see. It does not end here. There are some ideas that come out of these shows that need to be implemented. And once again, it is the team who needs to ensure the implementation thereof so that we do not become a talk show. So I don't take your hard work lightly, and thank you very much, team. I thank each and every guest who has ever agreed to be on the platform to share their knowledge and expertise at no cost at all. We do not pay the experts and public figures and officials that you have seen on our shows previously. It is all just sheer goodwill and the willingness to educate and empower our communities. Finally, I thank our most important stakeholder, the primary beneficiary, and the reason why this show exists. It's you, the viewers. Thank you very much. All your comments, the good ones that make us feel like we are on the right path, and even the challenging ones that make us uncomfortable. We appreciate them. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I thank you for tuning in almost every Wednesday and hope that we can do it again, even bigger and better in the year 2021. I wish you all a very happy holiday and a prosperous new year. Our number one citizen, Councillor Makubu, we really thank you for leading the city to the right direction with your team and all the councillors of the city of Johannesburg, but most importantly, our communities. I wish you a happy holiday and a prosperous new year. Please take care. Please obey the regulations. Wear your masks all the time. Sanitize. Observe social distancing. Avoid infection. We have been told about the second wave. Let us please play safe and make sure we come back safely in the new year 2021 so that we can work together. And I'm sure that working together, we can make Johannesburg a better place to stay, to play, and to work. Thank you very much. With those words, we have come to the end of the show. Thank you very much, our viewers. Please stay safe. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Happy festive to
Cheers.
all.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Happy festive season to all. Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy the
Bye,
holidays.
bye, Councillor Mosa.
All the best.
All the
Bye.
best.
Thank you.
All the best. Love you all.
Love you too.
Love you, Madam. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.